Hi everyone! Today's video is all about getting the flower wagon ready and up on the road, and I'll go over how we created our flower wagon as well with some close-up shots of it. So I'm starting in the office because the first thing I did was print out the signage for it. So let's get into the video. So we're in my office and I've just finished printing out on my color Canon printer the signage that I'm going to use at my flower wagon. Now, I don't do anything fancy. I'm just going to move over here to this tabletop. I just use a Word program and I created a layout that I liked, and I can change the words in the layout for each thing that I'm doing. For instance, I've got fancy daffodils, $10 a pot with my logo. I've got two more sheets that are fancy tulips because I have more types of those. And then I'll show you the other one after. It's hard to get at right now. And then on here, I am going to be selling 6 different types of daffodils at the flower wagon, and they're all organically grown. So I have the types with their names underneath. So if they're not quite open yet, people can see what they are and what they're going to look like. The only ones that have had whose bud heads have dropped as though they're getting ready to open is thalia right now. So I'll put a couple of thalia up in the wagon, but there's no color in them yet. So for the fancy daffodils, lemon chiffon is starting to open, red impressions is starting to open, salmon impression is starting to open, and salmon prince is starting to open. So that'll bring a bit of color. So I've got 6 on this page. And I've got 6 on this page, and really I'm doing it alphabetically, so this page comes first. It begins with an A, finishes with an F, and then on the second sheet begins with an L and finishes with a W. So you can see that they're all laid out exactly the same. I just got to import a different picture, change the copy depending on what it is that I want on here. These are the same formats that I used last year, so I didn't have to create new signage this year. And then the 4th sign that I'm going to have on the flower wagon, now that I have a YouTube channel, I've got my follow me on YouTube at Evelyn M Vlogs, and then I have prices of things. Flower bouquets, $20 each, flower arrangements individually priced. So those 4 signs are going to go each one in one of these that I get at Staples. It's a sign holder, stand-up sign holders. I buy the 4-pack because it's a little cheaper. They're not cheap. It's about $20 per when you buy them individually, and a little less when you buy them as a 4-pack. And they are these things. So with just the little stand, as you can see here how it just stands like that. And then what we do is we drill 2 holes in the base, and then that gets screwed into the shelf on the flower wagon, which you'll see later. And they will be in a row across the high shelf on the flower wagon, which you'll see later as well. And they just open up. Let's see if I can do this. See if I can do this while I hold my phone. They just open up like that. Can you see the opening there? And then the sign slides in. So that's how I do my signage. I do similar signage at the farmer's market, but I don't use the plexiglass signs. I use different things for that at the farmer's market. And now I'll take you down to see the flower wagon. So this is my flower wagon, and this is what we take up to the road to sell the flowers in Roadside. And for that reason, it's clearly on wheels. And the wheels are attached to a regular garden cart or flower farming cart, the ones that you see in everybody's vlogs, videos. And it has a handle that we can pull it with and steer it with here. Now originally my flower wagon was the size of the cart, but I wanted something that would hold 8 flower buckets. So we needed to make it bigger. And that did make it a bit top heavy to one side because we couldn't center it because of the steering handle on that one side. But that's okay, we'd rather have it a bit top heavy but the right size. So as I said, it's just on a regular flower wagon. I'll insert a picture up in the corner there of what it looked like before we disassembled it. And then we put a piece of gray plexiglass on the front here and had the word flowers done in yellow vinyl so that it really stands out from the road. Inside the flower wagon, the sheet of plywood here is all drilled with about finger-sized holes so that any water that gets in here can freely drain out of it to the ground below. The three sides that are not the front have shade cloth on them to keep the sun out, because when it's on the road in the morning, the sun shines on the back. At noon, it shines on the side. And then from about 1 p.m. onwards, right up until sunset, it shines into the front of the flower wagon. And on a hot day, what we do is, because it's on wheels, we simply pivot it so that that side is what's always in shade where the sun is. So by the time sunset rolls around, the flower wagon is actually this way rather than this way. Now we have a high shelf here, and that's so that people can duck into the flower wagon to grab whatever it is that they want. And on this high shelf, we put a slightly higher piece of wood along here, and that's so that if there's anything up here that has water in it and it spills, it can't get into the signage in my plexiglass stands and get it all wet. So I can get 4 stands on here with signage. So what I will have to start with is my daffodil sign, my tulip sign that begins with A, Antoinette Bouquet Tulip. The next page, which begins with the L, Lemon Chiffon Tulip. And then the 4th page is the follow me on YouTube at Evelyn M Vlogs, now that I have a YouTube channel. The price of the flower bouquets and the flower arrangements are all individually priced. Now this is all under a roof, as you can see here. Just go to the sides so that you can see that it's, well, you can't see the slant because of the slant of our driveway, but it's slanted so that it goes down that way so that water doesn't drip onto people. And it's got just a piece of scrap roofing on the top of it there. So what the other thing that we have on our flower wagon, which I also got at Staples, it's just one of these plexiglass cash boxes. It's got a key that goes with it. People can put their money in here. And we put white vinyl all over it so that nobody could see in here. But we kept the back piece of it open. You can see it's rusty because we've been using it for a few years, so that we can see if there's money in there. And we just put a little ledge here that it sits on. So then later on today, we're going to take it up our driveway, open up our driveway gate and get it up on the road and fill it in with tulips, daffodils, possibly some camellia bouquets. I might have some time to make those today, if not tomorrow. And we're all set to go for the season. So that's my flower wagon. You saw how I made the signs. And once we have the wagon up on the road, I'll show you what I'm putting in it and how it looks on the road. Before we take the wagon to the road, I just wanted to show you how much the tulips have opened up since you saw the April tour. So this is Salmon Prince. Clearly they're ready to go up. This is, where's the tag? Put my hand out here. These are, clean it off from dirt, Flaming Prince. And then, well, I thought I had another one blooming, but I don't. And then these ones are the Red Impressions that are getting ready. And as you can see over here on the daffodil side, the thalias are the first ones that are starting to drop their head. And once they start to drop their head, you know they're going to be opening soon. All the other daffodils are looking pretty straight up. Oh, here's one that's starting to tip. What's that one? That's the Cocapelli. Yeah, exciting stuff. And then of course, as you saw over here, my camellias have got lots of blossoms on them, all ready for bouquet making. Well, quite a few more than what I showed you in the last video. Next step, taking the wagon up to the road. So here we go, on the road. The signs are all up, and as you can see, they're all screwed in now so they won't tip over. And in here we have 4 Salmon Prince. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 flaming prints, 3 red impressions not quite open, and 2 Camellia daffodils. And then I've got my flower sign on the road there for cars to see. And then I walk around to the back, take the 3 steps down to our landing into the garden. Oh, and I just wanted to show you so you can see that when we're in the garden, we can see from the back if it's if there's money in the thing, but clearly with the slope on the grass, nobody walks around that side of the wagon to see that. And I'm just gonna kick this rock out of the way, shut the gate, open up the second gate for the keep the dogs in the yard, not on the road. And still lots left to sell. This is my cleaning station over here, because when I pull the pots out of the ground, not that they're in the ground, but they're sitting on it, you can see that they got pretty muddy over the winter. So I just have this sitting on the surface of the soil, and then I can hose them off, move them to the other one, ready to go to the road, move them up on the landing, and then out to the flower wagon. And if I get some camellia bouquets made, I'll show you what the bouquets look like. But until then, that's what the flower wagon looks like. And I'm not expecting any sales today, because people need to notice that the wagon is up there before they come and buy. So the first few days, there's not going to be much happening there, but people will see it and they'll know it's ready to go. And when the weather's nice and they're ready to work in the garden, they'll come and buy some. So I did manage to get the flower wagon up on the road while it was still sunny. It's still sunny today, it's the next day. I also managed today in the morning to get a flower arrangement made, as well as a bouquet. So they're up on the road, and I'll put some pictures of them at the end of this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. It really helps my channel, and I really appreciate it. Next week, we're going to talk about setting up my bouquet making station. It will already be set up, because clearly I'm going to need it before then, but I'll go over what I do to make my bouquet making station perfect for me. Maybe you can garner something from it. Until then, bye!